Namaskaram, hello, welcome to Cinephile India. In this video, I just came back and watched Kuberaa, so let's discuss that. So there are few Indian directors that I eagerly look forward to right from the day when they announce a movie, and Shekhar Kammula stands in my personal list at the top of the list. The reason being is I love his filmmaking style. I love his nuances that he takes in the scripts. I love the fact that he writes really strong characters, especially female characters in every movie. Even in his weakest work, Life is Beautiful, his characters are still strong. Now, Kuberaa is also not an exception. And I must say, I came back 100% satisfied and happy for having watched Kuberaa the first day, first show at my local theater. I loved the movie. It has its issues. Let's discuss those minor, very minor issues. But I must say, this is one of his best works. One of his best works, no doubt about it. People have been saying that in the Telugu industry, there is a severe lack of movies that have content. Now, let me tell you, Shekhar Kammula has given you 3 hours of solid content without songs. Let me remind you that without songs. There is one song, but that's a different story. He has given you 3 hours of solid content. Now you have no excuse, absolutely no excuse to miss this movie and tell that we don't have movies that actually provide a lot of content to our audience. Watch this movie. Even for Shekhar Kammula, it is clearly evident in every frame that he is stretching himself, because this story that he chose, he's a stark departure from all his other movies. All his other movies were based on simple things in life, like little nuance, a small incident that happens in a one person's life, and the story around it, the characters, how they influence like our day-to-day characters. But this movie has a much bigger scale and canvas than Shekhar Kammula has done anything previously. That is what surprised me. And he was uncomfortable. You can tell that he was uncomfortable, especially in action sequences, because as far as I remember, this is the first time Shekhar Kammula had fight scenes in his movie. That is a stark departure from what he has done so far. And that absolutely blew me away. He was uncomfortable, but he did it. He made it. The characters he wrote, beautiful characters, beautiful character arcs. Now, let me talk about each and every person in the movie. First of all, I must say Nagarjuna's, dare I say, this is one of his best works. I mean, in my opinion, when I watch a movie, I always watch Nagarjuna, not the character. But in this movie, from the first frame to the last, I saw Deepak Raj. I didn't see Nagarjuna in this movie. That is absolutely brilliant stuff he did. The character, beautifully written character, and Nagarjuna, the way he emoted, it felt artificial at the beginning, but it's not his fault. I'll tell you what's going on there. But absolutely nailed that role of a CBI officer, Deepak Raj. Beautiful, beautiful. The complexity of emotions, the conflict within his character, and his redemption arc. Terrifically done by Shekhar Kammula and terrifically done by Nagarjuna. And next one is Dhanush. Oof. I mean, that guy lived the character of a beggar. I mean, trust me, if you don't know who Dhanush is, if you come across this character, you would believe with your life that he's another beggar. That's how impactful his character was. His character, again, written so beautifully, and Dhanush absolutely killed it. There are some mannerisms such as character. He has a brief backstory, and Shekhar Kammula doesn't take so much nuance in that you will know exactly what's going on. Due to some instances that happen in Dhanush's childhood, his right hand becomes crippled, probably. So he cannot use his right hand. And you mean, if it was any other actor, if it was any other director, if it was any other mass movie, that factor, that aspect, they would have forgotten. They would have used in some random scenes like any other person. But the thing is, his right hand is crippled. So every little action Dhanush makes, like even lifting something, even holding on to something, you will actually believe with your eyes that his hand is actually crippled. I mean, look at the kind of commitment, look at the kind of absolute madness the actor must portray in this role to be so involved. I mean, if budding actors, if there is something that you want to learn about method acting, I would highly recommend analyzing this character the way Dhanush acted his character. And then Rashmika Mandanna. I was honestly fed up of flower pot roles in movies, especially Rashmika Mandanna. She is so talented. I mean, the last good movie that I really loved in terms of her acting scope and the character was Dear Comrade back in 2017. And after that, it took Shekhar Kammula to write a beautiful character, Rashmika Mandanna. She absolutely nailed it. I'm so happy to say all three characters, three major characters in the movie are terrifically written and terrifically acted by those respective actors. And the villain, oof. I mean, I saw him in a few movies, few Bollywood movies like Padmavat and Mr. Chatterjee, Norway, some movie on Netflix I watched. That guy was menacing. The villain character is also so strong in the movie. Like I said, every character in the movie had a purpose, had a motive, and that motive is very clearly established. Shekhar Kammula took the full 3 hours to properly establish each and every character, each and every character's motivation, each and every character's conflict, how it's all intertwined and what happens. It's beautifully done. Go watch it, watch it, watch it. We don't get these kind of movies very often in Telugu industry, and definitely don't miss this. I'm telling you, if Pushpa can be a pan-India blockbuster, there's absolutely no reason why Kuberaa cannot. Absolutely. Go watch it. Go watch it. Now, I'll come to the issues that I have with this movie. Editing was an issue. I can't really blame the editor here, Karthika Srinivas, because he is a good editor. He made really good stuff, like right from his Swami Rara 100% Love Days. He is a really good guy. But it's a problem with Shekhar Kammula. We know for a fact that Shekhar Kammula doesn't give a lot of scope for his editors. He actually kind of writes screenplay in such a way that there is barely any scope for cutting the movie. However, I did feel there are a few instances the editing could have been slightly better to get us a little bit closer to the characters in the movie, to kind of have that element of surprise and thrill in the movie. I felt it could have been, especially in the beginning of the movie, it could have been slightly better. Shekhar Kammula took on a big canvas. There are a lot of characters, a lot of motivations to be shown. So it was complex. The screenplay is absolutely riveting. 3 hours he commands your attention. It's beautifully done. But editing could have been slightly better, slightly more crisp to actually tie the loose ends properly. And then the other major problem I have with not just this movie, all Shekhar Kammula's movies, he rushes the climax, and Kuberaa is no exception. He spends 3 hours of the movie neatly, perfectly, methodically laying out each and every piece of the screenplay, each and every piece of the character and the story, but somehow he rushes the screenplay. I just felt something was lacking in the screenplay. There was no closure from me in the screenplay. I think this is where I thought, okay, the movie would have been at least 5 more minutes longer to kind of tie those loose ends up properly. The same thing happened in Love Story. Pretty much all Shekhar Kammula movies, he has this problem with climax, and this movie is no exception. So barring for the climax, the rest of the movie, 3 hours of amazing content. I am so happy, so satisfied for having watched this movie. This is amazing stuff. So go watch this movie. Again, I mean, don't take it because I'm a fanboy of Shekhar Kammula. I love his movies, but from a pure filmmaking point of view, I'd say this is screenwriting masterclass. So please do watch this movie, and please do comment on the video and how you like this movie. So hopefully you will love it. I'll meet you again in another video with another review. Until then, take care.